Hey everyone, and welcome to this brand new video featuring the Automated People Mover and its construction update for the month of August here on Tiger Railfan. Before we get straight into all that's new here, let's take a look at a route map here. The Automated People Mover line is a 1.9 mile line that's going to be running to LAX from several other places like the LAX Metro Transit Center. We're going to be starting inside the airport here at the LAX East Terminal Station. We're going to be making our way west all the way towards the International Terminal before making our way back out towards the LAX Metro Transit Center and the Consolidated Rental Car Facility. But looking straight ahead, we can already see that the TV screens are working and they are all on. There's quite a lot of them as well. And if you listen closely, you'll hear announcements playing, although it is only just saying, please stand clear of the doors over and over again. But it's worth noting that that's been happening. You'll hear this all throughout the video, so hopefully it doesn't get too annoying. I'll try to reduce the volume of these clips to make sure that it doesn't become too much of a nuisance. But those announcements are quite loud, as you can hear, and they go all the way across the parking lot. So I'm not sure how happy LAX is with that, but honestly, I think it's better than having no announcements at all. But of course, back to the general state of the station here, we can see that the lights are still on in the center, which are great to see. Everything electrical-wise is still working just fine. But before we continue any further, let's get a look at a before and after of the station. And honestly, we can see that not much has changed in terms of what we can see here. I'm sure most of it's internally in terms of finishing touches, as the line is already testing. This is definitely one of those rare transit cases where at least I feel like the stations look pretty much complete, but of course testing is not. This is opposite from the LA Metro A-Line extension to Pomona, where the track was completed way long before the stations, and testing was actually waiting for the stations to be complete. So honestly, it's very likely that these stations are complete in itself as well. They're just missing some things, of course, like the panels in the roof. That was a huge thing that we were always looking at every video, but of course that's more of a non-essential thing until the station opens. So they have time to work on little things like that. On our right hand side, there is an elevator that leads down to the street level, so that way you can cross towards Terminal 1 if for some reason you're coming out of this bridge. But more importantly, this bridge is planning for the future expansion, that is Terminal 0. Once Terminal 0 opens, this bridge will be extended out towards the LA exit facility where the Terminal 0 will be. There we just looked at the elevators as well. They look pretty much complete compared to last month as well. So I'm pretty sure that's not going to hold anything up with the station itself. Looking to our right hand side though, we're able to see the control tower for LAX. Looking in the west direction here, this is also where we're going to find the other terminal stations, which is the LAX Central Terminal Station and the LAX West Terminal Station. We'll be heading in that direction in just a second. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the LA Exit Transit Facility, which is going to be where the Terminal 0 project will end up. The LA Exit Facility will either be relocated or moved towards the LAX Metro Transit Center. So the facility is actually located just over this ridge over here. With Terminal 1 on our far left, we have the LAX facility straight ahead. And that is where a lot of the car traffic is coming from. And that's because taxis, Ubers, Lyfts, and really any car rideshare service uses that area. So you would need to take a bus to reach your taxi, Uber, or Lyft, which makes the Automated People Mover an even more convenient way to get around. And it encourages transit use too. So hopefully we'll see more users riding transit, because Ubers, Lyfts, and taxis are restricted to boarding at the LAX facility. But of course, let's go ahead towards the next area along the line, which is parking lot P2A, which is the parking structure that we're able to look at the LAX Central Terminal Station, which services terminals 2, 3, 5, and 6. So this one serves the most LAX terminals out of all the stations and is most likely going to be, of course, the most popular then. There is a random chair located here, which is interesting to see, but we can see Terminal 2 just ahead, and Terminal 3 will be located further to the left. There is one of the connecting bridges, which heads to Terminal 2. And looking to our left-hand side, we're going to see the other bridge connection on the west side of the station, which heads towards Terminal 3, both of which are served by Delta. So you are able to take either bridge as long as you are exiting at the correct stop, which is here at the LAX Central Terminal Station. Now, unfortunately, this level of the parking structure is still fenced off, but we can still take a look at what we can see here. It is pretty similar to the previous station in terms of progress. We can see those bridges are complete, the lighting is still on at the station, and it's difficult to tell if the TV screens are currently on at the station from the angle that we're at, but I would assume that they are on since the previous TV screens have been on for months, so it's not necessarily a new development. But we do see some signage in place as well. The B lettering signifies that this is Station B. Now, the APM uses a lettering system for stations. Here's a look at the map again. You can see that we start with the letter A at the LAX Terminal West station and head towards the letter F as we exit LAX. Pretty interesting, and it's probably great and good for those who are new to the area who need a little bit of help navigating the system. And now we are at the place where so many thumbnails have been taking for these APM update videos, which is in between the Central and West Terminal stations. Right ahead of us is the Central Terminal station, and we can see the bridge connection to Terminal 3. This, of course, serves Delta. So if you're flying Delta, for example, you would exit at the Central Terminal station. I do hope inside the APM trains that they announce airlines along with the terminals. This is probably going to help a lot more people navigate the system, as the West, East, and Central Terminal station area names are quite confusing, especially for those who are new to the area. But taking a closer look in the bridge here, we can see that there are those moving walkways that are going to enable people to move a little quicker, but it's worth noting that because of kinks in the bridge's angle, such as right to our left, there is not moving walkways consistently. So it's worth noting that you will have to walk the entire length of this bridge, and it's worth keeping in mind if you are with the elderly, disabled, or anyone who might have a difficult time with long walks. But hopefully mobility assistance will help take the wheelchairs out towards this way, as it is all wheelchair accessible. Hopefully there are facilities for that, but with smaller details like that, only time will tell, unfortunately. And we'll be able to include this in a comprehensive video once the APM opens. But of course, to our right, we just saw the LAX Terminal West station. That's where we're going to be heading next. We can see an example of one of the running through bridges that goes all the way from terminal to the station to a terminal across the horseshoe. That one that we just looked at connects terminals 3 and 4 via the LAX West Terminal station. So if you are connecting terminals, the APM may be helpful as well. The elevators look in a pretty close state of being finished, which is awesome to see that they are aligned with the rest of the station in terms of being mostly ready to open. But if you are enjoying the video so far, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more videos just like this. I do monthly construction updates on several projects, such as the automated people mover Skylink project and the D-Line subway extension that I'm sure you don't want to miss. But now let's get back to the video. Just above us is the guideway for the automated people mover line, and the columns straight ahead do look a little off-aligned, and that's probably because of the dense amount of buildings around LAX and parking lots. So they definitely had to build around the parking structure that we're currently on. But getting a closer look here, we can actually see some work is being done beneath the guideway, which is really interesting to see. Right there, there are some construction workers lifted just below, and they appear to be placing on some rebar or other types of foundation. I hope that doesn't mean that the guideway is structurally insecure or anything similar to that, but if you do know what's happening here, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, as I'm not entirely sure what they're working on right there. But just ahead of us, you can see Terminal 4, and to our right, you can see Terminal 3, showcasing that connection that you can make between the terminals. Although quite a long walk, it will likely be much faster than the current walk, which would go around the horseshoe, or taking a bus, which you would have to wait for, of course. So it's a good, faster alternative, and I'm sure this is going to save a lot of people their inter-airline connections. But do remember, if you are using the same airline for your transfer, there's honestly a 99% chance that you are using the same terminal for your transfer. So it's not to worry about a long walk like this. Looking in here, we can see there is another moving walkway, and it has things like the handrails already done. So it's good to see that those moving walkways are in a close state to being finished. Of course, Terminal 3 again is just over there. But now let's go ahead towards the next stop along the line, which is the LAX Terminal West Station. Here we are atop parking structure P3 at level 5, the top floor of this parking structure. It's one floor taller than the other ones. Looking in here, we can already see that the TV screens at this station are already on. There seems to be less than the LAX Terminal West station, which doesn't really make sense to me, but the other ones are most likely just off. Now, it may seem obvious, but I do want to mention the platform screen doors here. They are present at every station, and especially given that this is going to be a very busy people mover, it's absolutely a no-brainer that those platform screen doors are included for safety. Looking to our right, we're able to see the Tom Bradley International Terminal, which has a unique entrance to this station. We'll get a better look at that in just a second. It's also worth noting that testing has begun on the automated people mover line, but for some reason, we don't see any vehicles at all in today's video, including at any of these airport stations. But you are able to look at last month's video to see some trains slowly testing, so they are likely in earlier stages. But looking over here, we can see there are some construction workers. What a relief to see some presence here. We haven't seen any workers at all the way up to this point. But we have some here, and it looks like they are testing the sound system here. Of course, at this station, that same announcement is playing, "Please stand clear of the closing doors." And they could be testing the speakers at the station to ensure that you can audibly hear the announcements from every part of the station. And I can definitely reassure them that you can hear it from the top of the parking lot all the way back towards the terminal bridge. So I'm sure volume won't be a problem for the announcements. But of course, there are some papers that are taped onto the platform screen doors. We can see that they're just a little bit just above that TV screen, but it's also worth noting that the TV screen was displaying the same text that was being announced, which is a train arriving and to please stand clear of the yellow line. So it's good to see that the TVs are synced to that. That's the first time we've seen this. And if you do know what those white papers taped to the APM platform screen doors are, also feel free to let me know in the comments down below. It could be just for construction, or maybe to leave notes for construction workers that something maybe might be wrong with the door, or maybe it needs some adjusting. But hopefully it's more positive instead of things not working. But of course, here is the Tom Bradley International Terminal. So now let's get a look at the traffic at the Tom Bradley International Terminal. And we can see there is a little bit over here, but honestly, it's not too bad compared to what we've seen in previous episodes. But the automated people mover line is going to truly help alleviate this. It's going to be helping both drivers and, of course, those who are using the automated people mover Skylink trains. That's because, in theory, traffic on the LAX Horseshoe should be reduced whenever more people use the train instead of driving. But looking right ahead, of course, is that international terminal. Let's go ahead and get a closer look from the third floor, where we can cross the departures road over here to enter the terminal. We're also going to head inside to get a look at the interior of the international terminal at the point where it connects to the station. So we'll see if anything's new over there. But of course, down below on the arrivals level, there's not too many people this time, which is awesome to see. In previous episodes, we have seen it totally packed down below with people waiting for their rides. But of course, let's go ahead into the Tom Bradley International Terminal now. And also, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more. I can't wait to show you plenty more construction updates, and I can't wait to show you a video whenever the Skylink train finally opens in January of 2026. But with that, let's go ahead and get through the hustle and the bustle happening right outside the terminal entrance. Let's get into the air conditioning and take a look at what we can see. We'll also assess the crowd levels inside the international terminal for the month of August, right after the summer travel rush. But going upstairs, we're able to see the bust of Tom Bradley on our right-hand side, and turning to our left, we can see the entrance to the Skylink station. For some context here, we're on the 4th floor now, which is one level above the departures level. Just ahead, we can see what appears to be a black screen, and this is going to showcase events in the LA area, such as the Olympics in 2028, as shown by this image right here. That'll truly be a great platform to welcome visitors into Los Angeles, particularly since it's facing the international terminal. But going behind us now, we can assess the crowd levels of the LAX Tom Bradley International Terminal. We can see that the security checkpoint in the distance looks pretty busy, but on the ground level, check-in looks pretty light, which is good to see. So hopefully later in the day, it got less busy. But this is where the automated people mover line would drop you off at. And in order to check in, you would need to head down one level. But also, if you are in need of mobility assistance like a wheelchair, you can collect that just ahead on our right-hand side. So it's pretty convenient in that sense. We can see there are now some pillars and columns in place over that temporary construction wall. It's interesting to see the design that they're doing in order to connect the entrance to the Tom Bradley International Terminal. But I can't wait to see more of that once those walls go down in the coming months. Heading downstairs now, we can see the mobility assistance area straight ahead, so it truly would be a very short walk, which is awesome to see in terms of accessibility. So that worked out really well. And in order to head downstairs to the check-in area, you can use the escalators that I'm currently on, or you can use one of, I believe, 5 or 6 elevators that were on the other side of the wall. So there are plenty of ways to go up and down at this part of the LAX terminal. We can see now we're on level 3, which is where you'll go to check in for your flight. And this is where most of the activity in the airport happens. But if you continue going down, you'll end up at the arrivals level, although you do need to go down 2 escalators this time. But if you are meeting someone at the arrivals level and you're using transit to access the station, perhaps you've parked at the economy parking structure or somewhere like that, you can go in using the LAX People Mover and head down straight to the arrivals level. That's also only a few minutes walk down the escalators as well. So it's pretty convenient in a sense where the station is located and where the entrance is. So although the stations are only at the center of the horseshoe, requiring a further walk to the terminal, once you're at the terminal, you can pretty much reach anywhere within it within maybe a 4 to 5 minute walk, which is awesome to see here. Of course, now let's head outside and now let's get a look at some of the other stations that are not in the airport area. This includes the LAX Metro Transit Center and the Consolidated Rental Car Facility, which we see right here. Just ahead, we can see that not much activity is happening. The screen, luckily, on the left-hand side, though, is working, so at least we have that. But other than that, it's really in a similar state of construction as previously. The lot just ahead of us, also next to the Consolidated Rental Car Facility station, as well as the Metro Center APM station, is still under construction. Currently, there are some construction vehicles parked just on the other side, so hopefully that means we'll see some new things come besides just, of course, the dirt lot that's just right here. Looking to our right-hand side, though, we're able to see the LAX Metro Transit Center station, which is located, as you can see, extremely close to the Consolidated Rental Car Facility. We can actually get both of the stations in one shot here, which is pretty cool. But of course, that large structure over there, just looking outside this bus's window that we're currently in, is currently a station letter. So this station has been assigned F. The stations are all assigned a letter, and that helps riders see where they're heading. And instead of longer names like Central Terminal Station, they can use letters, which are easier for foreigners to use. But now we're on board a bus heading into the LAX Metro Transit Center itself, where we're going to get a good look at the APM Skylink station over here. But I'll point out some features while we're heading in. We can see that there is some electric bus charging, and that is located on the other side of the bus platform as well. So the station is definitely built for the future. If you're looking for more details on the station, feel free to check out a walkthrough of the station, which I have uploaded already. You can also see plenty of construction updates as well of the station when it was still under construction. But of course, this is where you would transfer from the Skylink line to LA Metro. And from here, you can take the C or the K lines to head to your final destination. But now let's go ahead and look at the Skylink part of the station, and we can see from there if anything is new. And here we are directly in front of the bus bays. You can see that this is an extremely modern station and is truly going to be a great transfer point from the Skylink APM line to Metro. We can see the platform for the automated people mover just in the distance. It's the same style and structure as the previous stations, just this time it has a walkway underneath it that'll connect to the LA Metro platform. It also provides direct access from the LA Metro platforms down to the parking and pickup areas, which are located across Aviation Boulevard and will be located on the left-hand side of us. On our right, you can actually see an automated vending machine, or at least the back side of it. But for more information and tours of the station, feel free to check out other videos in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, And I hope you've enjoyed this construction update as much as I have. I'll see you all in the next update, which will be for the month of September, with hopefully more improvements. Thanks again for watching and have an amazing rest of your day or night.